Hey, it's Shannon.
And Ortis. And today we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of home buying.
Stay tuned. And we're back. And yes, today we are going to talk about some do's and don'ts when you're buying a house and getting a mortgage, because things come up. We have situations all the time where people are like, I didn't know I shouldn't do that, or I didn't know I should do that. So today we're going to talk about a few of those and probably have a few laughs. But first off, get pre-qualified. It is very important to get pre-qualified when you're, looking to purchase a home. You definitely want to get pre-qualified first before you go out and find that house of your dreams or decide you're going to sell your house. It's very important. That's the first step. Is definitely you want to make sure that you get pre-qualified so that you know your purchasing power.
Yeah, another do is do use a real estate agent, a licensed agent. You don't have to pay for them. The seller is the person who pays for them, but that person works for you. That person is totally on your side, trying to make sure you get the best deal for your money, and that you're not overpaying for something that you don't need to overpay for. So yeah, make sure you use an agent, a local agent, and 9 times out of 10, if you already talked to a lender first, they know an agent that can help you out.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go with a don't. How about do not change your job, quit your job, get fired from your job after being pre-qualified for your home loan and not tell your loan officer. Very important. If your job changes, your income changes, you go from salary to commission or from W-2 to self-employed or any of those things, after you've already been pre-qualified, it is very, very important to reach out to your loan officer, because all of those things can change whether or not you are actually still pre-qualified or the amount that you're qualified for. A lot of people, we've had this happen a lot of times where people have lost their jobs. Either they've quit their jobs or maybe they've gotten laid off from their jobs, and they thought, well, we just won't tell them because we've already given them our pay stubs, so they're not going to find out. Guess what, guys? We verify employment all the way up until like the day of closing and verify that everything is still the same as what it was when you told us in the beginning. So it's very important that if there's any changes in that job or in your income, that you reach out to your loan officer to make sure that it's still going to be okay, so that you can still move forward and not have a delay in your closing.
Another important don't or do not, please, on behalf of all your loan officers everywhere, we plead that you don't go out and check your credit again. So basically what I'm saying is protect your credit, don't abuse your credit. So it means make sure you're paying all your payments on time. That means don't overcharge the credit cards that you already have. Don't go out and try to get a new credit card. Don't try to go out and get a new car, or try to go out and get your furniture or your appliances on credit, because guess what? Those things may look good now in front of or in your old house, because now you may not be able to get your new house. Make sure that you're protecting your credit, because any changes in your credit score. So going out and you go into those stores that say, hey, do you want to save 10% by applying for this credit card? Tell them, no, I'm trying to buy a home. After the home, I'll come back, I'll buy something to get 10%.
Yeah.
Deal?
Yes, we do see that a lot, where people are buying cars or getting their furniture or applying for a credit card to get a refrigerator, and it totally derails things at the end of the day. So yeah, do not definitely do that. Okay, how about another do? Let me think of a do. Do save all of your W-2s, pay stubs, things of that nature. We are always going to need the most recent pay stubs and the most recent bank statements for the last couple of months for your loan file. So make sure that, whether or not they're online or if you get them, in paper copies, make sure that you're saving those originals so that you can give them to your loan officer when we ask for them. You may have gotten pre-qualified months prior and then, didn't save some of your documents, and you're going to have to go back to your employer to get those. So the W-2s for the last 2 years and current bank statements and pay stubs are very, very important to make sure that you have on hand and that are saving while you're in the middle of that buying process.
Yeah, do make sure you ask questions. Make sure that if you have a question that you need answered, ask that question, because it's always best as a buyer, whether you're a first-time buyer or you've bought 5 or 6 homes before, maybe it's been a while. Things change. So make sure you ask those questions, because for us, we want to make sure that our customers understand the whole process, and that at the end of the day that they enjoy the process. Because the more questions that are left unanswered, the less enjoyment you're going to have of buying throughout the process of buying the home. So make sure those questions that you have, ask them.
Yes, absolutely. And no question is a dumb question. I get that a lot where somebody's like, oh, this might be a stupid question. I'm like, we're always open for every question because we want you guys to feel comfortable going into your home purchase. Okay, how about another don't? Do not deposit cash into your bank account. You know, that cash that you have stuffed in a sock in your drawer or under your bed or buried in the backyard or in your safe. Do not deposit cash into your bank account when you are going to be buying a home. Cash is an unacceptable source of funds for a down payment. So a lot of people don't realize that, don't think about that, but we have to source every deposit that's going into your bank account via direct deposit from your paycheck or, something of that nature. If it's a random deposit, we have to image that deposit, and cash can't really be imaged. So the underwriter will not allow it to be used for your purchase. A good rule of thumb is if you do have cash and you need to go ahead and get that out of your safe or your drawer or whatever and put it into your bank account, that it be in there for 3 months before you start the process, so that when we have those last 2 months bank statements, we're not seeing that big cash deposit going in there.
Mm-hmm. And she said, I know some of y'all are probably thinking, well, I can just photocopy it.
No.
Nope, doesn't count.
Cannot take a picture of your cash.
So also another don't change your marital status while you're trying to buy a home. So if you do it beforehand or you do it after, not a problem. We can work with that. But while we're in the process of, and I say in the process, I mean from pre-qualification all the way up until funding of the loan. So that's the actual closing date. Everybody's signed all the paperwork, and the money is given to the seller, given to everybody, the realtors, everybody gets paid. Then, and you get the keys to the house. That's when you can say, all right, I'm going to get married, or hopefully not, I'm going to get a divorce. But because depending on the loan program that you're in, trying to get changing your marital status can have a whole lot of bad, effects on basically you getting a negative effects on you getting that loan. Because if you're all happy and giddy with your fiance, and then all of a sudden you say, what, I can't wait anymore. When we buy the home, when I walk across the thing for the first time, I want to be carrying you across the threshold. Well, all right. So then now you show up to the closing with that ring on your finger and congratulations, we got married. And it's like, oh, congratulations. Now we have to figure out how to make sure that all this still works out. Mm-hmm. So please do not change your marital status while you're in the process of buying a home.
Yes, I cannot second that enough, because we've had it happen so many times, and closing is stopped at that moment because now all of a sudden we have married borrowers that we didn't know were married. So please don't do that. Let's end with a good do. Let's see here. How about remain as calm and gracious as you can with the people who are trying to help you get into the home, whether it be your loan officer, their team, your real estate agent. Just know that every single person in the piece of that process is working so hard to get you into that home, and we just ask that you be kind. It's a stressful process for you, but nobody in the transaction gets paid if you don't get into the home. So we are going to be doing everything that we possibly can to make sure that you get into that home, and it might be stressful at times. There may be added documentation that an underwriter might be wanting, especially now with COVID. Those aren't things that we are just like, hey, we want your firstborn and we want a blood sample and a stool sample. We're not trying to do all that. We would want it to be as easy as possible. Mm-hmm. So if anything comes up where you're like, oh my goodness, they're asking for this or asking for that, just try to give grace and be patient and kind and understanding going into the process that, there may be things that you have to provide that you're like, why do I have to do this? We wouldn't ask if it wasn't necessary. And we just want to remind you guys to be kind to the people that are in the process that are trying to help you get into that home.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay. Again, like back to what I said before, it's okay to ask that question. Well, hey, why are we having to provide this? We'll tell you, hey, mm-hmm. you have to provide it because of X, Y, and Z. So, mm-hmm. and then it'll be there. Yep. The last do that I have is do tell us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help you God.
So help you try to get in the home.
Yes.
Because throughout the process, we're going to be asking questions because we've seen kind of like if you're a parent out there, you know, you can ask certain questions and those answers will lead you to where you really want to go. We're going to ask those questions up front, and if you stretch the truth or you're not fully truthful, then it'll cause problems again later on down the road. We ask these questions so that we can make it as smooth of a transaction as possible. Because again, the smoother the transaction, the happier you are, the easier it makes for us, and everybody's happy at the end of the day. But if you withhold information or you again stretch the truth, it's going to come out. 9 times out of 10, it's going to come out, and then when it comes out, 9 times out of 10, it'll be the day before closing, and then we're scrambling around try to help you find the answer so you can scramble around to give us the documentation we need so we can make sure that this loan closes. So again, we're here to help you. We're not here to deny you. We want to make sure that, again, it's a smooth transaction and that you are happily in your home at the end of the day. And so the questions that we ask or the information that we need is to basically that, to make sure that you get in your home. So please, again, please, the whole truth, all the truth, nothing but the truth, or so help you.
So help you. That's right. Hey, if you guys can think of anything, a do or a don't, that you think would be helpful or useful, I mean, definitely put it in the comments. We'd love to hear feedback from our friends, especially those in the industry. Some of the things that you've seen that people have done that you're like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Hey, put it out there for us. We'd love to hear your stories. So.
So you can always leave a comment in the box below. You can always reach out to us by phone at 254-295-0905. You can reach out to us on our website at www.alexandercares.com or at our email at teamalexander@fairwaymc.com. Another do is don't think about other things while you're trying to speak on a video. Or that's a do not, actually. So anyway, we'd love to hear from you, and we will talk to y'all again next week.
Bye.
Bye.